This is Dr. Von Mad. You'll never believe where I am now standing. This is the campaign bus of Donald J. Trump. You can just take a look at this. This is so cool. You get his TV. It's got like a whole sound system right here. I'm pretty sure he was watching, watching that infamous moment where Hillary called us the basket of deplorables and probably lost the election. Right here. Probably sitting on one of these right here watching this very thing. Watching this very screen. Yeah, and the next mayor of Camden, isn't it?
Benton County.
Benton County. Oh, even bigger. That's
County
even
mayor.
better.
So it's
and that would be a Mr.
Brett Lashlee.
Yes.
So it's election's still a little bit away. It's won't be until primaries will be in May. The general election will be in August of 2018. But you can never get out too soon a lot of times, and the way races are on the county and city level, they're very local. And the more local you are, everyone knows somebody. So anyone who gets out and announces, you pretty much have to get out as soon as they get out. And so I think the first candidates announced like last, probably early June, maybe May of earlier this year. So I kind of held off a few more months and announced mine 1 year from that election day. So I kind of came out in August and kind of, I guess you can say, caught up with the pack. But I feel like I've been out working everybody off already, and everything, feedback that I have had has been fantastic. So, any questions?
Well, I don't know. I've never actually been in that position.
What is your pet project? What are you running on?
Is there anything? Anything?
Well, I think growing up in Benton County, and I'm 55 years old. By the time the election gets here, I'll be close to being 56. So, in a way, we're the same generation. We have seen a lot of things in Benton County over decades of time. So it's a lot of my platforms are not based upon what you call reactionary type politics. A lot of things that I want to work towards are systemic issues that have been around for maybe a couple generations and definitely several decades. And basically our biggest drawback, I believe, as far as leadership has been, is that we have not been taking what you call a forward vision to the way we lead and the way we govern and the way we try to move our goals and objectives out towards the future. Everything has been live kind of for the day, live for the year. Well, one only has to be in Benton County long enough to tell that we've got an economic problem. One of my main concerns is that I say that we don't need jobs in Benton County, we need careers. We need the ability to be able to give people long-term working capability. And right now, you might have a local store close only to be opened up by maybe a newer version of it, more, I guess you can say, franchise-oriented. And you really haven't done anything. You've really just replaced lost jobs with new jobs. And so
with Ben Franklin, eventually Big K, and then Walmart.
Yeah, and not only that, just your local convenience stores, the same thing.
Goes from Betty
a
Key
convenience store
to
goes out, a kind of a bigger version of it opens up. But still, who wants to work at a convenience store for 35, 40 years? You can't.
Unless you own the place.
You can't raise family. You can't raise children. What kind of benefits are they going to pay? Are they going to have a pension? Are they going to maybe have 401k? Help people retire? Those are jobs, and that's not what I want to focus on. There'll always be a commercial industry. We're always going to have your convenience markets and gas stations,
fast
things
food
of that nature. Yeah, fast food. But I want to work on being able to position Benton County into what I call build ready. I want to make us build ready so that when the opportunity does present itself, we can go actually have a solid and expedient recruiting plan. Let's just say you remember Nissan growing up and how it came to Smyrna. My gosh, we're nowhere near ready to even attract something like that. Of course, that would be the jewel that we would love to have.
Well, I mean, we both worked at Jones I worked at Jones till my knee gave out in the last 15 years. you know, and they're seeing some contracts coming in there, some more work in there, but.
And I've worked at Jones for 12 years.
Well, the one thing about Jones Plastic is Jones Plastic
and they are a great company to work for.
But they are a company that really feeds off larger companies. You know, when these larger companies need orders and they need to fulfill demand, they come down to these smaller type companies like Jones Plastics, and so they're very important. But you know, is someone going to work at Jones Plastic 35, 40 years, and then there's only going to be so many of that. So what I want to do is my main goal is to focus everything towards our interstate. You know, growing up here, it was easy to get lost in the shadow of looking at DuPont, TVA. They were the kind of your breadwinners of our economic community. But that kind of came to a screeching halt. You know, before this last election took place in 2016, with the wrong person as president, we really might have just been one regulation away from both those places shutting down. I mean, we've already seen TVA scale back, and they are having to I guess you can say re-gear themselves as to what kind of power plant are they going to be, and they're no longer going to be the power plant that we remember them growing up as kids in Benton County. So, and also, last time I checked, I think they were on Humphreys County soil, you know, paying Humphreys County property taxes. And you look at the highways over in Humphreys County and compare them to Benton County. You know, we don't have one 4-lane highway in Benton County. You know, we got a 4-lane interstate, but we don't have highways that they do. That is the benefit of being able to attract industry to Benton County soil.
More infrastructure. So
our interstate, to me, one analogy that I always use is, you know, Peyton Manning, he makes everybody look good. You know, when he was quarterback, the line blocked better, and the receivers, you know, he made receivers and the running backs, and so the interstate is our Peyton Manning. The more we can develop into a build-ready status down to our interstate, there will be residual impact from that. All counties are going, it's not just a Benton County thing. Actually, you're probably looking at 6 to 8 counties that's going to benefit.
Splash over.
You know, and so that's why we can go into this in a partnership mentality. I can go down to the Decatur County Mayor, the Perry County, the Humphreys County, the Henderson, Carroll, Henry, Houston, and I can get their buy-in to this concept saying, listen, we've got location. You're going to benefit by a first-class industry come into Benton County, and now your citizens will drive to Benton County and be able to take their paychecks back home with them, so to speak. And so if we don't do that, and if we don't take a serious approach as to building ourselves for the future in an industrial capacity, then we're going to continue to lose our young generations. I mean, one only has to look east to realize that the jobs pay better, higher, people's standard of living is much better. One thing that I have run into back when we had our county fair, I got to talking to people in my classes, and you know, now we're at the grandparents' age. You know, our children have grown, and now they're starting to have children. But what happens is when someone leaves for college, more than likely they're not coming back. You know, they're going to look at their vocation and the skills that they have developed, and they're going to realize that they cannot utilize their skills in Benton County to a degree. There's only so many CPAs to go around. There's only so many lawyers to go around. There's only so many doctors to go around, and so
I'm running into that problem myself. I have a college degree in information systems, office information systems. I've never been able to use it.
And
state, I had a choice between using my degree and moving to a bigger city, or not using my degree and staying home.
Well, and not only in using your degree, a lot of times when you go to college, you're also going to meet your future husband or wife there as well. Who knows where they're going to be from? You know, so a lot of times if you're someone from Benton County and you've gone off to college, chances are maybe 1 out of 10 will make their way back to Benton County. So now what we're running into is that those people who have moved away for so long and now have children, that the people who retire here move to where their children are. You see, so we lose not only our younger crowd, we lose our senior citizens because.
Also, I've noticed from being in school myself, you have the what I would call the malcontent third generation. What you have is you have grandma who has used her degree or whatever and got her job retiring from places like Chicago, retiring down to West Tennessee to retire. They in turn bring their daughter or their children to look after them because their children worry about them and how they're going to survive their retirement community. Their children bring their children with them that are 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And all growing up, all I've heard from that generation is, I'm so bored. There's nothing to do here. There's no clubs. There's no entertainment.
And again, that comes from vision. We did not have the vision as a government. I'm not going to put the blame on any Pryor County mayor or any person. They weren't geared to necessarily look. I mean, you know, this has gone over generation after generation after generation, and when things are good for certain people, they don't really see what we're seeing right there in these examples that we've given. And so I think I've kind of been chastised a little bit, maybe by the competition that. You know, I moved off. I lived away for 25 years. But I used to live right down the road in Dixon County, and it wasn't that I was blind to what was going on in Benton County, but by actually working in Nashville for most of my professional life, living in a community that benefited from the growth of Nashville and seeing how they grew, how they managed as leadership, how the cities worked with the county government, the cooperation that you see. I believe that Benton County can use a good dose of that. I think actually my experience is I'm kind of the perfect example of what's gone wrong. People move away, they don't come back. The thing is, I love Benton County. I never wanted to leave to begin with. I wanted to be a banker and live all my life here in Benton County, and that didn't work. And so I always wanted to move back here, but when I did, I moved back with a determination, a mission-focused attitude that, you know what, I want to change, you know, for the good, you know, what we needed. I've got these skills. I've gone and got myself educated. The military has taught me how to be a good leader, an effective leader, how to bring people with different ideas from different walks of life, from different places in our country, how to put two of them together and make them work towards a common goal. Perfect, you know, the military skills, I just cannot probably speak enough of the benefit that experience has had. But getting back to what you were saying, what's happened is now we're losing these senior citizens who grew up in Benton County. So we've lost the young people, now we're losing the senior citizens. The ones who move in here from out of town, think about it. Depending on what age that you are, you're not as vested in Benton County. You don't know that the Trail of Tears actually went through here, that the Eva archaic site exists, you know, the oldest in probably America.
Not to mention the Battle of Johnsonville, which is still talked about in West Point as the only battle in history in which a Confederate
a ground force defeated the naval force.
Yeah,
and the Patsy Cline crash.
Well, and you know, we have a rich
I've
music
even heard
history.
Erwin Rommel came through here.
We had the Sargum Festival. We had a lot of things. But think about it. The people who are moving in from out of state,
no reference.
They don't know Benton County's history, and they're not ever going to get to know it if we don't build community spirit, community pride, and make them feel like they've grown up here all their life. Well, the only way we can do that is to improve the quality of life here. So the only way we do that is we focus on the age demographic from 20 to 60-year-olds. Okay, that is your 40-year working window. If for every young person that we keep in Benton County, think about it. They're probably going to get married, have children. They're going to go from a 2-bedroom house to a 3-bedroom house, maybe a 4-bedroom house. That employs carpenters, plumbers, electricians,
real estate agents.
So it has a residual effect as well. Those young Benton Countyans are also vested in our school systems. They have children in school. They're going to be vested. Everybody wins, in my opinion. So, but the 20 to 60-year-old age demographic should be your greatest economic impact demographic as well, and it is not. That is where we need to be concerned as a citizenry. Why? Someone's got to pay the bill, or fire, police, ambulance, medical. That's not ever going away. It's not ever going away. So who's going to pay that bill? What's going to happen is when our young people don't have the financial capacities to pay the bill, or they're moving away, they're going to get it from the senior citizen. So I've always said what has been a retirement heaven here in Benton County could quite possibly become a retirement Armageddon, so to speak. You see what I'm saying? So basically people have moved here for the retirement quality of life, and that may change over the next 10 years, 10, 15 years. So that's why I believe that economic development is our number one priority. There's other things that happens. I mean, to me, you're always going to have your what you call your day-to-day, week-to-week issues. But we have got to start looking ahead, long term. Here are my three, and I've talked you to death or whatever. And I'm very passionate about what I'm doing. I feel like that I'm going to die tomorrow or die next week. There's only so much time to try to jump in and make a difference. And so I'm very passionate about what I speak about. But these are the three foundations of my leadership style and what I consider requirements of my platform. Number one, accountability. We've got to have accountability both internally and externally. And so that's not only our data and our numbers, but it's also the people. Second of all, open, honest communication. It's my responsibility as a county mayor to bring you the news. And a lot of times we only bring you good news. You know what? You deserve to know the bad news. We can be better decision makers if we know what's on the table and we're open and honest and have a great debate and discussion about it. And lastly, vision in everything we do. We cannot implement programs, we cannot implement platforms and goals and objectives if we don't know where it's going to end in the long term. We have to have vision in the things that we do here. So again, accountability, communication, long-term vision, those are the three staples of any platform that I'll put out there. And again, I look forward to discussing these matters as I get out over the campaign season.
I'm sure everybody already knew it, but
yeah, and we're selling coffee cups.
Make America Greater in 2020. Hey guys, he's going to be there for another 4 years. Keep that in mind. This is Dr. Von Mad from Myra Mad Productions. We'll see you cats, one and all, on the flip side. If you like these videos, hit the like button. If you love these videos, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to get notified, and bye-bye. Yeah. Now, these two are pretty public figures. I'm not going to show the rest of these folks because they do have private lives, but thanks to the people that are here at this National Guard Armory. I was hoping to get some footage of the stuff, but that didn't quite happen. So, we'll just have to suffice with this. See some of these folks in these really cool uniforms up here. Very vintage stuff going on. But we're going to have to get going. The peanut's getting restless and it's getting late, so catch y'all later.